Hello, my name is Tamisha, better known as Mimi, and I am the incoming Executive Director with Center for Change. Our agency's mission is all about educating our community on chronic diseases and helping to bridge the gap in health disparities amongst minority populations. Today, I am so honored to introduce to you an old friend and a classmate of mine, Mr. James Downs, and I know him as Jimmy. Good morning, Jimmy.
Good morning, Tamisha.
Before we get started, I have to tell you that I pulled out our old middle school yearbooks. You know
Oh,
I
Lord.
have. Yes, Lord. As I'm going through our yearbook, I was highlighting the people's names that were my friends. And of course, I highlighted your name.
Not even my mom and dad call me James. It's weird.
All I remember is you're always smiling and you are always laughing. So, today we're talking about a serious topic that oftentimes is not talked about enough. It is one of the most common forms of cancer, and unfortunately, it affects the minority population at alarming rates. This particular cancer diagnosis is found in people under 55. So,
Yeah.
today, Jimmy and I are talking about colon cancer. Jimmy posted the most vulnerable, the most transparent depiction of his current life. I reacted as well as hundreds of other people. And I told you this just yesterday. I had this inkling that I needed to reach out to you. And I asked you if you would consider talking to me in hopes that your message could be even further reaching than what it already is. And do you remember what you said to me?
I said I have no problem whatsoever. That would be a beautiful goal of mine, is if I can change even just one or two people's minds, especially on the stigma surrounding testing. It would mean a lot to me on the outgoing of what I'm going through. The fact that you have such a large platform and actually advocate for these things daily. I mean, it almost lined up perfectly.
Let's talk about it, okay?
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about what your thoughts and your feelings were and are when you learned about your diagnosis.
I'll tell you, it's extremely rough when you finally go and get the colonoscopy, and when they wake you up and give you the news that it's cancer, it hits like a ton of bricks. It's really tough because at first you're just like, nah, that's not it. But I mean, you're sitting there with doctors. They're not joking with you. They're not pulling your leg or nothing. It happens so fast. You only get so much time to like start to process it before you have to start to deal with it. You know, just hearing it is one thing, but then having to change your mind to, okay, this is reality. What do we do next? It's a mental challenge. I'll tell you that.
You bring up a good point because there's always that physical reaction, but
Yeah.
the mental and emotional piece we tend to overlook.
Yeah.
And
My girl was there with me when we got the diagnosis, and you know, it hit her harder than it hit me at first because my mind was on the physical part. The emotional part hit her. After it hit her, that's when I was like, wait a minute, this is real, not a TV show. This is my actual life now. It's
right.
definitely hard.
Something else that you said just in those few minutes is you said the diagnosis versus your diagnosis. And I wanted to highlight that. Though there has to be an accountability piece to it, thinking of it as the diagnosis, do you see that or manage that as something that is more manageable if it's a the diagnosis versus your diagnosis?
You know, you can always play the 2020 hindsight game. That's the one that gets me the most. And the one that I wanted to highlight the most in this conversation is because of the stigma, especially. I mean, it's not just men and women, but mostly men. And like you said, minority men, there's such a stigma around the test and actually getting it done. I mean, I know all the jokes, but
Mm,
pride, which to me is the deadliest sin, if I'm honest with myself, is what's got me where I'm at, because there was signs way early before I actually started to seek help. There was signs, there was clear signs
what
that
are
I
some
just
of
did.
those signs?
Well, without getting too descriptive, the most important was, I would say, last summer, I was starting to see blood,
Hmm.
not in my stool, but as I wiped. But when I first saw it is when I first should have went and got attention. But my male ego, all I did was associate it with my heavy drinking and my lifestyle. I was like, oh, it's probably just my liver needing a little break, or, you know, maybe I need to not drink this weekend or something. The reality is it was a sign. It was a warning shot. It was a red flag. I ignored them all. I didn't seek help until the blood started getting associated with pain also that I was feeling, which again, I was using my male ego to be like, oh no, that's not from this, that's from this. Like you were saying with the colorectal cancer, it's a rising cancer here in America. The numbers are starting to get real low. Like the number used to be 45 years old, go get checked. Now it's starting to affect people well before 45.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm only 43 right now as we speak. I was 42 when the signs first started. So it happens now well before 45. And the saddest part to me is it's one of the most curable if you catch it early. If you wait late, like I did, it's also one of the most fatal. To me, a lot of that comes down to, like I said, the stigma of it, the jokes. Anyone who's feeling weird pains or seeing weird signs, don't let middle school jokes prevent you from living your fullest life.
Right now, the screening age is 45. However, they
Yeah,
say that if you have a family history of colon cancer or polyps, you should start screening 10 years prior to the
absolutely.
youngest relative that has been diagnosed with it. Let me ask you this. What has this experience taught you about listening to your body?
Hindsight is 2020. It's a bad game to play. Makes you wish you listened to your body earlier. We're just now getting to the age where people want to pay attention to that. But man, it's happening younger. On top of listening to your body or paying attention to what your body's trying to say, actually listen to it. 'Cause like I said, I was given signs, but I wasn't listening. So actually, if your body's trying to tell you something, try to listen to it because it's not saying it for fun. It's not giving you the signs because it's bored. It actually wants you to live.
In your post, that was something else that caught my eye is that you called out men and women in parentheses, but you
Yeah.
said, hey, go get screened. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If something is unfamiliar with your body or you're experiencing something that is foreign, go ask questions. That could be early detection.
Trust me, when I made the post, all I was thinking of is I didn't want to sit here and write 8 million messages to friends and family. So I just wanted to make a post that I could link. And I wasn't expecting the responses I was getting, but a lot of people have written back and said they got scheduled because of what I wrote.
Praise
And
God.
that made me feel better already. My sister, she went ahead and immediately she got screened for everything. And luckily they didn't find anything other than high blood pressure. But
Mhm.
now she's working on that, It's life-saving for a lot of things. That will make your life better.
And if push comes to shove and something is found, then it's a pathway for treatment. You are such a blessing. You always have been. That is heart wrenching to me when you said that so many people have already responded saying, hey,
Yes.
I'm going to get screened.
That's all I can ask for at this point.
What's the hardest part of this journey for you, and what helps you get through those challenging or overwhelming days?
It's crazy because it's going to be the same answer on both sides. Is family, my loved ones. I hate putting them through this. They reassure me I'm not putting them through this. Cancer's putting them through this, but I can't help but feel a bit of guilt because I don't like seeing them hurt behind my hurt. But then at the same time, when I'm down and I'm hurting, it's them who are lifting me up. It's their love, them surrounding me. My girl hasn't left my side since this started. And it's just that feeling of people around you who care about you as much as you care about yourself. It's weird that they're both the same answer, but I just, on one side of that coin, I hate hurting my family. And on the other side of that coin, they're uplifting me. They're the ones that are helping me find that little bit of extra strength to keep fighting and keep trying.
What would you tell someone who has just been diagnosed with colon cancer?
If they just got diagnosed and they caught it early, I would tell them keep their head up. I know it's a real tough diagnosis to receive, but you got to keep your head up. Positivity is half of it
Mm.
because you can't be in a negative headspace and expect to get better. Keep yourself happy as best as you can. Keep happy thoughts. If you have that family support system, lean on them. I've had so many visitors the last couple of days, people that I haven't seen in a while, and just sitting around. You got to get your mind and your body in sync for what's ahead because it's not going to be easy. So don't let everything else bring you down.
How can I best support you?
You already are. You're giving me a chance to reach out to people and hopefully change somebody's mind about when they were going to get tested. Because I'll tell you now, like you said, I'm not a professional, but that 45 number, it needs to be 35 at this point. There's no harm in getting ahead of it and get that advantage. Don't give the advantage to cancer. And I want everyone to know I started chemo yesterday. I'm still connected to the machines now. we have decided to swing back instead of just constantly getting swung at. So if I got to go, I'm not going without fighting them, you know? I'm not going
Yes,
to
my
just
warrior.
I'm not
Yes.
just going to sit here and let it do what it does without giving him some sort of resistance. Thoughts and prayers go a long way. I know he
Yes, it
listens.
can.
If you've got room for me in your prayers, please put them there.
I just want to say, God bless you, Jimmy. Thank you so, so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.